Welcome to Lead Guitar Secrets. I'm Dan Denley, and I want to congratulate you on your decision to invest in this course. And really, that's what I believe you've done, is invested in yourself, invested in your musical knowledge, because we're going to go on a journey with lead guitar that probably you've never been on, at least not to this extent. We're actually recording this intro at the very last day of filming for this, and I can tell you, of all the projects I've done, this has been the most intensive. And looking back on it, we've covered a lot of ground. And I remember, as a guitarist who played basically rhythm guitar when I first started, I would listen to players like Joe Satriani and Eric Clapton and Eric Johnson and Sean Lane and Albert King, and even people like Wes Montgomery, and listen to those guitarists and think, man, I wish I could play like that. I wish I could play those solos like that. That's really what, in my opinion, guitar is all about. And, you know, but there was never really a step-by-step how to play lead guitar, anything I found. I mean, I bought books and videos of great guitarists, and most of them were, at least the videos that I bought of this kind of celebrity guitarists, were basically a guy that was a great player but not necessarily a good teacher. And I remember sitting like right next to the video, you know, trying to watch their hands and like hitting the pause button and hitting the slow motion button and try to figure out what they were doing. But there's really no way to kind of put all the pieces of the puzzle together. And that's been my goal for this course, is to take it from the beginning all the way to the end and show you and give you a strong foundation for building your lead guitar playing. This course is broken down into essentially 5 different sections. The first section is going to be finger strengthening exercises. Okay? And what that's going to do is build up the strength and agility in your hand, in your left hand if you're a left-hand player. And it's also going to help your picking hand as well, because obviously these two things go together to make music and to play lead guitar. The second section is going to be on scales. Scales obviously are something you've got to know to be able to play lead guitar. It just doesn't happen without it. And I don't care who tells you that you can play lead without it, they're wrong. And I'll just say that, and I normally don't make categorical statements like that, but I'll stand behind that one. If you don't learn scales, you're not going to play lead guitar. Now, you may get by, but you're not going to actually excel. I mean, you might know the pentatonic scale in the first position, and every single solo you play is in that position, and you're stuck in one place. Or you may learn a few, you know, leads and a few licks that you throw in, and you get by, but you're never going to actually develop your own compositions and really be able to make it something musical if you don't learn scales. So we're going to cover scales. We're going to cover them in depth. We're going to cover the modes, which are just simply the major, you know, different sections of the major scale. We're going to cover the pentatonic scales, major scales, minor scales. We're going to learn all of that. And the next part of it, the next piece of the puzzle, is going to be licks. To actually take those scales and develop some licks from that. Lastly, or next to last I should say, we're going to learn some solos. And these solos, I've actually written, I think it's 14 solos for you, and I've written them in various styles. I've written them in blues style. I've written a couple in kind of like a blues rock style. I've written a couple in a straightforward rock sound, a couple in kind of a heavy rock, kind of heavy metal type thing. I've written, and for the ones on the modes, I've written some that are more of a jazz blues style. And we're going to cover all of those, and I want you to learn all of those different solos. And those solos are really pedagogical. They are written with specific concepts and specific skills in mind. For example, how to execute triplets, or how to execute string bending, or lots of slides, or specific skills that you're going to use. But it's basically taking the licks that you've learned and then applying them to real-world solos. The reason I want you to learn those 14 solos, all of them, is because they'll expose you to different styles and also equip you with the different techniques that you're going to need to go out and learn other guitarist solos. Because this is what I've learned after teaching and after playing, and I'm still a student myself. I certainly do not know everything, and I'm just going to teach you what I know, and then you can go and learn from other guitarists as well, or if you're already taking private lessons, I'm sure your teacher can help you in different ways. But what I've learned is that when you go out and pick up a song to learn it and you start playing that lead that's been transcribed normally by some other guitarist than the guy who wrote it, you know, it can be difficult because the transcription person actually writes down exactly what they hear, exactly what's being played, and most of the time, at least in published works, the transcriptions are really good. The problem is, I don't know if it's a problem, but the challenge is actually learning those solos, because the person who wrote it is not necessarily trying to teach something. They're trying to write a solo over the next hit song, or the song for their particular record, or whatever they're, you know, writing that particular solo for. They're not writing that solo to teach something. They're writing it with a specific musical concept in mind. You should certainly learn other people's solos. I'm in no way saying you shouldn't. You should be a great student of all of the great guitarists that you want to learn how to emulate. However, instead of just teaching you their solos, I'm actually teaching you, I've written some that are specific, with specific skills and goals in mind. So I want you to learn all 14 of those solos, and then go out and learn other people's solos, okay? I think you'll have a much easier time learning other people's stuff if you learn all the stuff that's in this course first. The last part of this course is going to be on scale chord relationships, and that's going to really tie all of it in together, and that's the intensive theory part of it. We're going to learn how to take a set of chords and determine which scale to use over those chords. So we're in for a wild ride, and it's going to be fun, and it's going to take work, but I know that you're interested in it, or else you wouldn't have purchased this course. So I'm going to do my very best to bring you along, take you by the hand, and show you everything that I know about lead guitar. And I would say that within 30 days of taking this course, if you will put only maybe 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes a day, whatever you can spare. And obviously we all have jobs, we all have things we have to do, and ball games and commitments that we have to make. And you may not be able to do it every day, but if you can commit to some type of schedule, it's far better to practice, let's say, 30 minutes a week, or let's say 3 times 30 minutes a week, than it is to practice 1 time a week for an hour and a half. Okay, so try to get your schedule where you can at least pick up your guitar a couple times a week, or 3 times, 4 times, and learn something new every time. If you just take these DVDs and pop them in and learn one concept, just the pentatonic scale in its first position, then the next time you pick up your guitar, you've already got something in your brain that you can pick out and start using. Okay? Try to be disciplined with your playing, and don't just grab your guitar and noodle around, but have a plan. And use the tools that I'm going to give you in this course, and you will do just fine. So thanks again for investing in this course, and let's get started.